All right, so continuing off the last video, talking about scenario 2 now. This is our national level women's soccer athlete. Again, with this one, I really didn't change up the exercises too much. I did, however, change the sets and reps as well as the loading style as you mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago that the rep max every day didn't really correlate to what we were trying to do, so I switched it over to an RPE to make it a little bit more applicable and easier for the athlete to recognize intensity-wise. So starting with day 1, again, kept with a trap bar deadlift. Again, I like that exercise for its specificity to sport. I started her with 4x10 every week for the hypertrophy program, and I moved that down to 4x8 for the first 2 weeks, and then 4x6 for the second 2 weeks for the progressive overload aspect of it. The walking lunge, same deal. I put in the description, I want the first 2 weeks to be with 2 dumbbells at the sides, and then the second 2 weeks to be a barbell in the back rack. And that automatically will increase intensity a little bit just because you can load it a lot more than 2 dumbbells. With that, I also decreased the reps to, instead of 4x8 for the first 2 weeks, I went to 4x6 each leg for the second 2 weeks, as well as an increase in RPE. The 2 dumbbell single leg RDL, I progressed to a 2 dumbbell sprinter RDL. Again, I like the sprinter RDLs because it's a way that you can overload the unilateral movement. And so with that, I also decreased the reps as well. 4x8 the first 2 weeks, 4x6 the second, as well as an increase in RPE there. And like the first scenario, the first 2 exercises, RPEs, will be a little bit more, not a lot different, but will be different from the complex exercises just to balance out the, just to reduce the overtraining aspect of it, because we're not trying to lift as maximally with complex exercises with the 3 in the row. We just won't be able to. Just do as much as you can, whereas the first 2 exercises being by themselves in each day will be able to lift maximally, which is the goal. Continuing with our second day, we had the landmine lateral lunge. I had 4x8 each all 4 weeks in the last program, so I just progressed that to 4x6 each so that she can increase weight there. I kept with the leg extension because I liked it for the eccentric loading on the quadriceps, so I just decreased the reps there so she can move a little bit more weight. Going on with our second day, it is upper body focused. We have our bench press. That was one of our data points, so I did that percentage based off of her 8 rep max. So I started with 70% of her 8 rep for the first 80, then 85, then 90 for her last week. And again, you see a decrease in repetitions there, with the first 2 weeks being 4x8, the second 4x6. The reverse grip barbell bent over row. Again, I did the reverse grip because it'll be a little bit easier on her AC after that sprain. And so, again, it's already with a barbell, so you can just load on some more if you can. So the first 2 weeks are 4x8, the second 2 weeks are 4x6, with the goal of increasing weight every week. Moving on to our complex of the day, I had cable chest flies the first week, or the first 4 weeks, because I like the eccentric stress for the hypertrophy side of it. Now I want to just recruit motor units, and so I have dumbbell chest flies. They'll be done on a bench. She'll be laying down with that, and she'll have the first 2 weeks 4x8, the second 2 weeks 4x6, increasing weight each week. Same with the bench assisted dumbbell row. Same rep scheme there, with the same goal. The cable face pull I did just to help stabilize her shoulders a little bit, as well as kind of build the upper back, so that so it can help heal that AC sprain a little bit. I had 4x10 every week the first program. Now we're moving to 4x8. Going on to our day 3, lower body focus day, we have the back squat, which is again another data point of hers. So that will be percentage-based load from 70% to 80 to 85 to 90% with 4x8 the first 2, 4x6 the second 2 weeks. The barbell RDL, I continued on with that. She did if I remember right, she had 4x10 the first 2 and then 4x8. So I continued with the 4x8 then to the 4x6 the second 2 weeks with an increase in load every week. I liked the barbell rear foot elevated split squat. I think it has a great transfer to her sport. So I continue with that with a 4x6 each and then a 4x5 each for the second 2 weeks. The dumbbell cyclist squat, I had 12 reps the first 2, then 10. I wanted to continue on and just not go crazy with it because you can only load it so much with a dumbbell. But I like the cyclist squat because it targets the VMO, which is good knee stabilization exercise. And it kind of helps. It's basically you're doing a squat on a inverted surface, and so with her heels up pretty much. And so I like it for targeting that. But again, with a dumbbell, you can only load it so much unless you use a barbell, which I'm just not really comfortable with. And so I stayed with 4x8 each week with that, and then moved on to a hamstring curl, which again, I like the hamstring curl for the eccentric stress. Again, hamstring tears are also common in soccer, and so just making sure those are strong and healthy. Again, they were 4x10 the first 4 weeks for the hypertrophy. Now we're moving down to 4x8, so you move a little more weight. And then finally, the last day, I like the Swiss bar floor press because it allows a better neutral position for her shoulder, which will be better on the AC. So you have the first 2 weeks of 4x8, then 4x6. Those are moving down from previous 4x10 to 4x8. I moved the cable low row to a seated cable row because you can do more. And I did 4x8 the first 2 weeks and 4x6 the second 2 weeks. I had originally a weighted push-up. Again, you can only load that so much to where the targeted muscles are being compensated by the other parts of the body. They're trying to hold the weight up. So I moved that to a close grip dumbbell bench press. Again, just trying to keep that AC healthy as well as target the triceps and the deltoids. 4x6 for the first 2 weeks, 4x5 for the second. Same with the single arm bent row, just decrease the reps, increase the intensity, 4x8 first 2, 4x6 the second 2 weeks. Then bicep, tricep exercises of choice, 3x8 for the first 2, then moving to 4x6 because she'll be probably doing more complex exercises by that point and she'll be having to load it more. So there you have it.